it's a very difficult,
Yeah.
risky situation we have right now. Trying to get certain. Oh shit! Damn it, Ben.
Drippage.
Ben, now I can only think about is like time right now. It's like the theory of time right now.
Dude, space
I'm like,
travel, time, all dimensions, that's what I've just been thinking about. And
yeah. If right now I'm just like thinking about the time, like,
just been mind fucking
because
myself.
now my head's going back to the dark, like the dark mind, like of the show, and I'm like, so now my mind's going like right back to it.
Sometimes I think about how it is, how it would be in the medieval age or era, and I just think about that, and it's because like you've seen shows on it, but what
But
if
how was it
they were,
really?
yeah, and you know it's kind of crazy, the pyramids in Egypt, like they were
People say
stone
that
squares,
people
like
say that like aliens built them, but come on, man.
I don't know, it's kind of trippy because like think about it this way, right? Did they have like cranes and stuff? Like, did they
No,
even think
well, here's the
about
thing.
that?
They
'Cause
used a lot of slaves, and they carried those large stone like wet bricks at the time. So
yeah, but
then,
they're square, so that's sort
yeah,
of like
they're
the
square, so
height.
they carried up one by one. It
Oh,
didn't matter.
uh,
It didn't matter how much it how much manpower it took. They just wanted to
but
build it and get started.
yeah, but think about it this way, right? So let's say you're right. How would they move the squares up other squares with those massive squares without like breaking bones? Without basically crushing themselves to death, right? You would need something extremely powerful to lift up those bricks
Now
because they're fucking
here's what I'm
massive,
thinking.
and you
They
would
had to
need
get
way
like
more than
they would probably have to get a lot of more like strong people, but also I'm thinking they did it like an ant. They built it around like an ant style because ants, if they need to like help get up anything, they will help one another, but they'll also like so basically they'll carry one of them will get on the steps, and then as they're pushing the blocks, they'll like so basically
yeah,
what I'm trying to say is they'll be pushing it up as they're carrying it. Sorry.
no, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I just always thought that was
I
kind
mean
of
it's
cool to think about.
ow.
My bad.
I'm just gonna mess up this pool. Did these guys die?
Oh, they fucked up the guy.
Here. You just said I'm out.
All I want is the crown. So, if you think of it this way, like, you know how they said aliens built the pyramids and all that stuff? I
Hmm.
don't 100% necessarily think
Believe
that's
that?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how, like, they say time travel won't be invented and stuff? What if, like, in another, like, completely alternate space,
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
like,
So you think that
dimensional
someone from another
travel?
dimension shifted the weight of time, built it, and
Oh,
went back to their world, but somehow can create time travel and time space.
I mean, it doesn't seem impossible if you think that there could be other
It's not
civilizations
really
in
because okay,
different
here's the thing.
dimensions.
Here's the thing. I know like movies, blah blah blah, but I believe that we can figure out how to tune, how to do anything to the time continuum. There's
Like,
always got to be a way. Because how do you think black holes form?
yeah,
Because
like what are black
where
holes even?
exactly?
Like they're
Yeah,
just one.
they're they're there they're there to suck up space and matter, right?
They're just like antimatter holes. They suck
Yeah,
anything up inside, and like no one knows what happens to it.
yeah.
The matter
So
just
you think so
disappears
you
or
think
doesn't
that
go.
so you think that black holes are actually they could also be like what if they're
Like
people
wormholes or
yeah
something.
yeah they could be
What if it
wormholes
just
but
leads to
what do you
like
think
like there was this theory, right, on dimensional travel and stuff where these people thought that black holes are just rifts in space-time and it could lead to other dimensions
I mean
and stuff
I
like
would believe
that.
that
And like if you go through, it's like a portal to another like galaxy.
yeah but here's the thing sorry Booping. Anyways uh you think because by the way it looks we could travel through it but I feel like our bodies would get smashed because of how much pressure can go through that.
Yeah, because like there was a scientist explaining black holes. He said we could probably go through it, but our bodies wouldn't be able to withstand the gravitational force
Yeah,
and
the
pull
because
and pressure.
it would be yeah it would be pulling us, but
It's like
it could be smushing us and pulling us at the same time. So it would
yeah,
technically
he described it as like a vacuum, uh, but like it pulls and pushes and it
it
just sucks
twists it
everything
yeah
up and it could break your it would just destroy your body and you wouldn't be able to survive it.
yeah. We just have to learn how close the gravitational pull is to it, so we can know how to
Like
kind of like
we can do zero gravity on Earth if we were to like go on a plane and the plane would just take a nosedive like at a
yeah
certain angle and it would just fall out of the sky. We could accomplish zero gravity. Like I think actually that's a thing that people do
yeah
and experience zero gravity. But if you do that, you could do something to recreate that effect in a black hole,
yeah
and it would
I see where you're
just
going.
like, yeah, I think maybe
It could create like a
like if you think
uh,
about it this way, people in like other dimensions could have way more advanced civilizations, and they already thought about this kind of stuff. And
yeah
I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but like they thought about this stuff already and they've done it and they're like hella far in the future and
yeah
they've just like done this stuff and are
mhm.
able to travel to the Milky Way galaxy because we know pretty much nothing about space except that's a giant black vacuum with
Yeah.
empty, well, not emptiness, there's other galaxies and we don't know what's in those other
Mhm.
galaxies. Like we're one out of an
But
infinite.
doesn't it hold up now that but not now that you said that but when you said that how did we know that there was other galaxies? I mean yeah maybe through the telescope we can through the like that big ass telescope but you think
Like
someone through that black hole traveled knew everything and just told us straight
like
up ow
there could be so much stuff. Like there's so much stuff we don't know about that
like
like
Area
everyone
51
knows. Yeah, like okay, so I think of it this way: like the people that pretty much run the world, all the
the
higher
government
up
the
leaders and
government
stuff, and the governments
basically the
and all
government
that. Yeah, like all the governments of the different countries know a bunch of this stuff that we don't know about, and they try and hide it because they don't want anything, because they want to stay in control and all that
Yeah.
stuff, you know. But
They
what
don't
if
want to. They want to
they?
keep us asleep. They don't want to. They don't want to show us what could actually be real.
Yeah, they don't
What we
want to
could
show us
actually.
all the other
What
stuff.
we could actually accomplish. That snake didn't move. It didn't trigger it.
That snake is retarded. But yeah, like there's some like they could probably already know how to do space travel and stuff, and they just don't want to tell everyone or make it like a thing, because like rich people have like Elon Musk has already tried to do commercial space flight and send
Yeah.
people into space. So maybe they don't want that stuff to happen with like interdimensional travel because something can go wrong.
Yeah.
That's what
Or
I think
or
is.
it could expose anything, and they could.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of. Oh fuck.
Just a matter of like all kinds of stuff. What the? Oh, what the? I did not mean to do that.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Hold on, I'll be right back. All this thinking has made me need to go take a piss.
I was like, wait, that's right. Talk right there. Right there, man. On my. Yeah, because technically, if we're talking about time travel here, anything bad that happens, I'll just say right now, anything bad happens, what would you do? Actually, thinking the pandemic right now. Well, the pandemic that we're recovering from, I would say. That's if. It's history repeating itself. It's time. It's a time loop. I don't know exactly how many years, like, each pandemic has been, but I know for a fact it's looping. Didn't they say 1820 when the black plague hit? I could be wrong, but wasn't it 1820? See, I think, let's see, 1820. Is that oh, oh, the Spanish flu. Mm. Yeah. See. Okay. So the Black Death was 1366, 46. Okay. Spanish flu was 1918 to 1920. So that means I'm not good at math, but I'm suggesting here that it's a time loop. It's a time loop. So I was thinking, I was like, I put in my calculator and I was like, 200 years? That's not right. Mm-hmm. 1920, 100 years. I'm scared. 1920. I don't think that's right. But no matter the year. But like I said, hypothetically, something bad goes. Something bad goes 33 years later. That same thing happens again. Wouldn't you be thinking it's a little bit of a coincidence? I would. I would really think it was a coincidence. How the same thing looped again. That's not really normal. Oh, he's dead. Wow. And that's what I think. I do think history tends to have it repeat itself. Say learn from our mistakes, but then the mistakes come back. Because we do the same things over and over. Wow. Because we're repeating ourselves. I don't think it's a coincidence. Figured as much. I'm gonna go piss too.
Alright, so I was watching this video, right, Andre, on black holes and shit, and it was pretty crazy.
Hey Ben.
Oh shit. Okay, so Andre,
Yeah.
I was watching this video on black holes and shit while I was gone,
Mhm.
and it's basically what I got out of it was a black hole is just a region, right? Pretty much
Yeah.
of space-time where gravity is like where there's actual gravity. So the gravity in space is zero until you find like a black hole, and it's so strong that anything that it's in its way, it just disappears. Like even light disappears and you can't see it ever.
But that doesn't mean we can't go through it though.
Yeah, unless you want to get freaking obliterated.
Well, okay. Well, hold on, because we just have to make something that maybe is like
That is strong enough to withstand the
either withstand or have like no gravity at all, and that gravity will be pushed into us.
yeah.
I was thinking about it right now. I was kind of talking to myself, but about history repeating itself. I was kind of thinking about it because I was like, because they said that the Spanish flu, Corona, all have the same, like it repeated itself. History did
Every
repeat itself.
century,
Yeah, every
there's
century there was a, and
pandemic.
like my mom did say, it was probably just the government because it always happens. It always happens during elections. During the election,
Yeah.
could be the government. Could be several things.
Well,
But
if you, well, it's happened every century
mhm,
on the 20 years mark.
yeah, the 20-year mark every century.
So,
That and honestly, you can't be like, oh wow, we have another. It's it gets kind of fishy once you like think about it, because it's like,
like, okay, so if you think about it, it only makes sense that's the government or like some supernatural force keeping things in order from like
yeah,
overpopulation or like something like that or
hmm,
anything like that, you know? But
yeah,
like there's no my bad.
that's
There's
right.
there's no way it's natural for that to happen
Yeah,
on that specific date and time. And
and
for
I
it
was
to
also
keep
thinking it too.
happening ever
Yeah,
since it could be on record, it could have even happened when there was no record of any of that stuff happening.
yeah.
But people just
And
go with it.
I was in the bathroom. When I was in the bathroom, I was thinking about it too. I was like, so you know how, uh, so it's not considered time travel because I was thinking about this. It's not considered time travel because if you stop at a certain mark and rewind it, and then you re-hit that certain mark, and then you keep rewinding it, it's not time travel. It's a time loop. It's a rewind loop. It's a rewind loop.
Yeah. Like
So like,
let's say let's say you could go into like a alternate universe or something, right?
yeah,
And you can find your future self. Wouldn't that just be pretty much going back in time if everything else was just the same? Or not future self, past self.
hmm,
But like it's the same universe, or but it's
yeah,
just different timeline. But you can see your past self.
that's true. Okay, see, now that was a good question you just hit me with because it technically wouldn't be a paradox because if it's another universe, it's another universe but same timeline. Wait, no.
another universe, but
No, because if it's a different universe, that means that it doesn't really affect your universe's timeline. It only affects that universe's timeline. So technically, if you do anything wrong, it might affect your timeline just a little, but it wouldn't necessarily affect your timeline because it's in another universe.
yeah. Because I don't know, the whole concept of it is pretty damn, it's pretty
Complicated.
fucking interesting and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
complicated. But that's what makes you want to get interested, is because you want to find out why it's so complicated, why it's like what it is.
Alright.
Slow us down, I don't know. I was like, why? Oh crap.
I will assist you. What the hell? Hola, señorita? What the fuck?
Oh,
What the? How
down
the?
there.
Ooh. Sheesh.
When me and Ben explaining all
So
the theories.
we could actually just film. We could record it, clip it, since we're playing Skunk and stuff.
Hey Ben.
Call it late night conversation
Hey
with
Ben.
boys. Yeah.
What do you think I've been doing for the past 26 minutes?
Damn, you got me there. Got me there.
I was already one step ahead of you.
Damn.
But see, now in alternate timeline, I couldn't have.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what? It's weird because now I'm thinking about it. Like, can you think with your other self in the timeline, or like in the? Can you think of something in the future and make it into the present, in your present or in your past?
So, what you're saying is, like, let's say in another alternate universe, or not alternate universe per se, but
Okay, I
like
just threw something around.
sometime in the future, like if you could talk to your past self, and you would be able to, your past self would be able to understand
Sorry.
what you're saying. Well, the stuff's involved, so it's all well. But let's say your past self can communicate with your future self. What would that be, huh? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't have the words.
It would. Okay, hold on. Now, if I think about it right now, if I'm putting like, if I'm kind of like thinking about it, because right now,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get really complicated. So prepare.
Okay.
So basically, if your future self was talking to your past self, that would alternate your time. That would alternate your timeline because you know, in your head, you would know what your future self would tell you in the past. So now you're thinking of it in the present. So technically, you're kind of communicating with yourself, but you're also telepathically, in the sense. You know what I mean?
Well, let's say this. What if your past self, no, future self has been somewhere, and then, but like it's not like you're going. Okay, well, it's gonna get complicated. But let's say, for example,
Probably stupid.
you're, let's say that your future self has been somewhere in like another space time or something, right?
Yeah.
And then you get deja vu from past self eventually reaching that mark of your future self's past. Would that be deja vu if you would remember it, but you've never been there? But your future self has from like somewhere else?
actually a really good thought. That's a good, really thought. I haven't really thought about that.
Dude, if you think about it, what if you get deja vu, but it's somewhere, but you've never remembered being there, right?
Yeah,
And
like
maybe your future self from another timeline, or not timeline,
another world.
universe or something.
Mm,
Yeah, has been there, and you
yeah.
get the memories from them.
Then, then that mean your your time, not your time, but your space wavelengths. They could be intertwined to where you could get your future's thoughts and where he went, but
And you can know what to do, what not to do, and
yeah,
what to do.
but what to do, but in the sense you can't, because if you think about it, it could ruin it could fluctuate
Your
the
future
time.
self,
It could
yeah.
fluctuate so you would have to learn how to ignore it, or kind of like play your part, or like, you know, like keep it as a normal life. That
Yeah.
way, because then it essentially becomes a time loop, because then you would be the future self, your past, you would be talking with your past, and then that past will become you, and then
I'm sorry.
it becomes a great paradox of a time loop.
There's
And
so much stuff that
ow.
is just crazy to me.
See, I can if I
You know what
really
I've
wanted to.
always,
Oh, go ahead.
you know what I've always thought about ever since I was a kid? When we started learning about space, always thought to myself, how, I know the Big Bang, but what was there before the Big Bang? What was there before space itself? What
Now,
was there before anything?
now
Like, how is
they
matter even
say
a thing?
they say that they said that before, because of the Big Bang, they said that maybe it was a big planet. Maybe I'm saying it was like maybe a big planet that had maybe like water and everything on it, and it somehow, because I remember it saying it was like just a dead planet. It was like red. It was like full of like magma, just like nothing on it. And then it soon later, and then I think it like all the elements came into play, and then we started having like ocean. We started having the ocean, and then we slowly started having life.
But if you think about it scientifically and not religiously, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying.
How was all of this stuff just here? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
and
even if there was a big planet before the Big Bang,
uh-huh.
like, how was that planet there in the first place?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, would it just be emptiness? Would it just be white screen? Like, you know how in video games
Yeah,
when there's
yeah,
nothing,
like
it's just...
I get what you're saying. Like before the stars, before everything, like how would Earth look? Like how do you? Because you can't picture
How
it.
it
I mean,
is.
you can picture it, but it's like
Just be like a blank canvas,
it would just
really.
be a blank, yeah, like a blank canvas, like a blank sheet, and you're just like, it's like staring at a blank sheet, and you're just like, what? Because nothing can be put on here for random, because you have to think of like on a blank canvas, you have to think of to put something on it. You can't just
Yeah,
start. I mean, you can start drawing randomly, but it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna form anything.
exactly.
So it's
I've
just a
just always wondered. Like, I tried to ask my science teacher, and she just said, "Oh, the Big Bang." Like, she didn't give me anything
yeah.
to work with. Yes, I know the
It's
Big
because
Bang,
they're
but
like
what?
science teachers. I mean, they'll be like, oh yeah, but if you really try to outthink them and try to out like kind of smart them, then they'll be like, well,
No one knows.
that's why I kind of want science teachers that kind of like think like us, because then we can have like a real conversation. Then it's like,
Yeah. Like, I've asked people, but then, like, the people, like, some of the people I know, they just say, oh, religion, God did it,
yeah.
God created it. But, like, what if there is no God? How would it have become a thing, you know?
Now I'm not trying
But
to
they don't
like
have an answer
say
to that.
like anything bad about religious, but thing is, if none of this was here, religion wouldn't even be a thing.
Exactly.
Thing to think about.
Like, no one would be able to frickin' like, I'm not saying it's made up or
Yeah,
anything,
it's not. It's
but
not.
like,
Yeah, I
no,
know.
it wouldn't be passed on, or
It
it
wouldn't.
wouldn't
It
even
wouldn't.
be
Yeah,
known of
it wouldn't.
because there would be no
It
one to
wouldn't
know
have it.
about it.
It wouldn't have even been thought of if.
Yeah. Let's say God did come down in well, let's say God did make us in His form, right? Or
Yeah.
reflection. And if none of us were here, then He would not have anyone to follow Him, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all religion is. It's following of the
It's
greater
of the
being
greater
or
power.
whatever.
Yeah,
And you
greater power.
believe in, yeah,
Well,
and you
not in the greater
believe in,
power. Kind of like in the greater sense of mind and being.
yeah, the greater higher beings. But
Well, being.
if, yeah, well,
Yeah.
being, well, if
Well,
you're,
in all type of religions, beings.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry,
but
all the people out
no,
there.
everyone's like, hey, yo, what the fuck, man?
Fuck.
But like, let's say, I don't know, it's hard to word this because I'm not smart enough to word this properly, but
Let's
let's
try.
say there was God was not able to create anything. Would it just be in an empty vacuum of space?
With one
Or like,
person sitting there,
yeah, like
just
what even is the greater power? Like, is he actually like a human form, or is he like a glowing orb? What is he? No one knows because no one's seen him. That was kind of retarded.
we only have our own depiction of what God looks like.
Yeah, we don't actually know what he looks like.
Now, you know how people say they, and I'm not trying to like say anything bad, but you know how
That's kind of dumb.
that was crazy. But anyways, you know how they said they've seen God, right? They've seen him.
Yeah,
They see what he looks like, but they can only see him and picture him based on what they've seen in the Bible and what they've seen of drawings of him.
yeah.
That because that's set
Wait,
into your mind.
yeah. Or what if you see him as a human being because that's what it says in the
His form,
Bible.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, what if he wasn't said it? He was like a. What if he wasn't a human being? What if he was just like something else? But we don't.
Taken form,
Yeah.
like Ben.
Like, people say
Ben,
you
what
overthink.
if that being looked into the future, knew and saw what he did, took form,
Like,
of a human, then created everything to where that becomes a
like,
time loop, so which the next being comes in the past, looks into the future, sees everything, does it again. And
because I'm thinking like, what if fuck, I lost my train of thought because this motherfucker. Alright, so what if my bad?
alright, cool. Wake up, please.
So what if God? Fuck, dude. I had such a good thing to say, but
What
I
if
went brain
God
dead. Just fuck that clown. Alright, so I'm gonna try and think about what I was gonna say. You could say whatever.
Mm. Are you starting to feel like a little bit of like a tiny bit of headache, or is that just me? Like not like it's not like it doesn't
Kinda.
hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's just like
It's just,
your brain hasn't
yeah,
really thought this much, and you're just like,
yeah. Fuck,
but see,
dude,
this
I
is this
hate
is
when this
this is
happens.
this is like if you really like, let's just say we went out and you're like,
Yeah,
hey, come on, man, you should talk more. This is the type of topics I could talk for hours because I like it.
yeah.
It's something I
It's
can get
interesting.
onto. It's something I can
Yeah,
really put my mind to and be like, you know what, this is what I think, and then you can give me your opinion, and I'm like, you know what, yeah, I kind of agree with that, and then you add your own fact into it, or you add your own theory, and then it becomes like a whole thing. You're just in there, and you're
yeah.
like, that's
Or
what gives
you,
you friends, and that's what gets you like. Honestly,
yeah.
sometimes it could get
Or,
you a girlfriend, you know.
yeah. Or you could just be a dickhead and say, no, your opinion's wrong, fuck you. But I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just crazy to think about all this stuff. And how there's so, like, how there's a
And we
pretty much
and
infinite
it's
number
crazy.
of galaxies.
It's crazy to think about right now.
Yeah,
But
like, we're
right now,
just a
you know
small...
how many questions we asked right now? That was only like
Oh,
a
yes.
tiny pinch of what we could ask. That was a tiny
Yeah.
pinch. We could ask everything,
I'm pretty sure
and
scientists
it's
say
funny.
that we can't even, or we haven't even been able to use our full brain capacity.
Mhm.
But if we could use our entire brain capacity, then we would be extremely intelligent and
Yeah,
all this other stuff and be able to think
but it's because
about,
we're either being kept dormant, and we have to wake ourselves up into that because there's
we
a lot of
just,
intelligent people. I think I think
we just
Einstein.
haven't unlocked,
I think they said that Einstein. They think Einstein unlocked full 100% of his brain.
yeah, it's because they say we haven't, we aren't capable of unlocking that part of our brain or something like
Mhm.
that. And we have to unlock that part of our brain to do all kinds, like if we unlock that part of our brain, that certain
Mhm.
part, then we can do all kinds of stuff and think about fuck. Not think about fuck, but we can think more and
Ah,
fucking invent
ah.
cool shit and like
Here, don't just okay. I'll just wait. Try to get his attention. I'm gonna see if you can try to like make him roll over here.
yeah. Like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like I'm smarter and more retarded by thinking about this stuff.
Like
Asking,
you're both very like you're like you're thinking a lot, but then you also feel like you're like not
asking dumb
asking.
stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm smart, but also extremely retarded while talking about this. But I mean, hey, it's an
But
interesting topic to
you
talk
know how you
about. I
said
like to talk about it.
but you know how you said you feel like retarded, but in the end, that's what got scientists their jobs. That's what got NASA everything. Is because
True.
these thoughts
They ask themselves these
they
kind of
asked them
questions.
they, and they
Oh,
asked them and they wanted to solve them. So they put their own minds to it
yeah.
to
Well,
where
oh, okay. I remembered something I was gonna ask. I remembered one thing I was gonna say. So it's crazy to think about, but
I love how we always
I
talk
only
about it. It's crazy to
fuck.
think about.
Well, I don't know if we've completely explored the Milky Way galaxy, but the Milky Way galaxy, if you look at the bigger picture, is only like one in an infinite amount of galaxies that can
Mhm.
exist, and in those galaxies there could be other life forms, there could be so
Yeah,
much more stuff.
because
Like, you know, all the species in Star
yeah,
Wars and stuff?
hmm
You know Star Wars?
yeah,
Like, there's
that
so
could,
many different
yeah.
galaxies and all that stuff, and you could travel to them, and there's different species and
Because I
planets.
remember when I was watching like this when I was watching, I think it was the Doctor Strange uh Stranger Things, like it was like a sit down, and
Yeah.
they're talking about like the upside down. That too I do believe in, the upside down, like under us is like a whole other universe. It's just we're
Yeah.
sitting in the exact same spot. But he said, Bill Nye, because they had him on the show, and he said it would be weird if we were the only human beings on Earth, on this thing, on this whole
On like
galaxy, this
this
whole
whole
entire.
entire
There's
universe.
no way in hell that we're the only human beings ever created.
Yeah, dude, that's there's gotta be other people out there that
Other
are like
life,
far more advanced
and
or
you know what's
like
crazy to think
still.
about too? They could be having the exact same thoughts. Exact same thoughts.
Yeah. It's just mind fuck to think about all this stuff. Like, okay, now my head is starting to hurt. Like what
Like you
you
feel that
talking
little
about?
pounding, you hear that little pounding a
Yeah.
little, you're like,
Like,
it's because your
oh
brain's not
fuck, I'm
used to.
thinking too hard. You know.
But you want to keep
But
going.
yeah, I like talking about it. It's very
Yeah.
interesting to
It's
hear
a
what
very
other
interesting
people.
topic. It's not
Yeah.
like it is. It's not a very. It's not a like some people. It's a very. I feel like it's a topic that doesn't get talked about a lot often. Not in like the normal community, but like maybe in the scientific community, it's like a lot talked about.
Yeah.
But
You know, it'd be cool if we could sit down and talk to a scientist that has like the kind of like the same mindset as us.
mindset, because then it's like you're talking to like a scientist that you would like get like know. Like then you're like, you know what? Oh shit.
And like you'd be able to like discover kind of a bunch of shit, and like they'd actually have the authority to like research it and stuff,
Yeah, and you're
like in
just
a
like, and
lab
you're
or
thinking,
something.
and you're just, because
It's
that's what gets you happy. It's like you have the questions. Like
but you
yeah,
need but you want to
some
know
of
the
them,
answers.
yeah, you want the answers, but sometimes at the same time you don't want the answers because you want to keep it a mystery.
Yeah,
But sometimes you're just like, you want to know that answer, and you're just
yeah.
like
It's
I
pretty.
honestly, I personally, I would want to know what is also under the, like what is under our ocean.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, like we have.
Only
Okay,
like,
here's a crazy
is it
thought.
5%? 5% of
I think
the.
5 or 7%.
I think it was 5%. 5% of of the ocean has been. And you know how they
What
like,
if?
oh, like people are like, oh, this is fake. This is like, oh, like I feel like Cthulhu could be real because I feel like there could be a huge being that rules the sea, that rules.
So here's what I think, right? Here's a really cool idea, or maybe it's a really cool idea, but let's say dip out there real quick. So I'm pretty sure NASA was like supposed to be for ocean discovery and exploration, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what their original purpose was,
hmm
but they stopped and started going to space. What if they found something they shouldn't have found down there?
Yeah,
And they,
you think that's actually
yeah,
really
like
good.
what
Like
if,
you think they found something they weren't supposed to.
and
You think something down there made went to go like they threatened them,
or
and in
or
exchange they just.
what if there's something down there that led them to space, that led them
hmm
to want to know about space? Like,
Like
what
yeah,
if
like
there's like
because they couldn't
other
just have switched automatically. Like out of no purpose out of that. It had to been a motive.
Yeah.
Hey, can you come over here and pick me up real quick? Kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So,
Gotcha.
but what if they found, and then like, you know how, what if there's stuff down there, like more species
Yeah.
of like sea creatures, and like they're trying to get those to come to the
Cause
surface so
have you
people can see who they are,
because
and
I
maybe
remember
they're
I think
trying
it
to
was
get off of
yeah.
Earth because they're scared of what's in there. Maybe that's why they're trying to go to space because they don't want to. They're
Yeah.
too
Okay.
afraid of what's in the ocean.
So I think it was Mr. Dykes, uh, English class. He was explaining. It was like kind of explaining the whole like oh how far we've gotten into the sea, like how deep we've gotten, and it only went
Yeah.
into like I think like almost not almost but like the beginning of the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering because the Mariana Trench is supposed to be like the deepest place ever. So what I'm wondering
Yeah.
is, did we actually just surface that area, but we just found something like you said we shouldn't have?
Like I feel like we're barely scraping the
The surface of it?
surface of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more stuff that's down there, but we found something we shouldn't have found, and that's why we're going towards space to try and
Yeah.
get away from it.
Or
Like if you
yeah, like
think about it,
trying to like
what if what if something down there is so big and powerful, capable of wiping out humanity that we're trying to get off of the
off
planet
planet.
that we're currently on?
Yeah.
Like maybe
Maybe
that's why
maybe
NASA
that's
went to
why
space,
maybe that's why NASA is set on trying to see
explore and
if
try
no
and find some.
if Mars is suitable for living. It's because we found
Yeah,
something here we honestly shouldn't have,
and
and
we need to
we need to get off planet before maybe he gave us a year exactly. Here, here,
like.
carry me. No, I'll just use me as a gun.
Oh,
Shit.
that did not work out very
That did
well.
not.
Oh my god.